Morning, everybody. It's the 17th of November. We are Signal Centre Talking Ball. I'm Joe Neighbour, joined by Steve O'Hare and Ian Coleman. Good morning, gents.
Good morning, all.
You
Everybody all right?
Yeah, all good.
Excellent news. So yesterday, things were buoyed further by another vaccine success, this time from Moderna, a big US firm. They are claiming 95% success against COVID-19 as opposed to Pfizer's 90%. So further good news. We can get out of the woods because we aren't expecting to get any sort of vaccines out until spring next year. Therefore, there are still limits in place in certain areas. Germany have urged people to limit public gatherings and private gatherings, but also, most notably, Sweden, who went for the sort of herd immunity approach, are now having to put in place their most restrictive measures so far.
So they're not exactly restrictive, though, are they? Don't have a party.
No, so they're saying don't go to gyms, don't go to libraries, don't host dinner parties, don't host parties, cancel, said the Prime Minister, Stefan Löfven. So, yeah, I mean, they're pretty laid back, aren't they? Can and can't do, but they're just advising you not to do these things. So we'll see what happens as a result of that, I guess, in the coming months. But, yeah, quite a bit of stress on the intensive care beds, by the sounds of things, in Sweden. So that seems to be the main news around the markets over the last 24 hours. Unless anything else has particularly stood out for either you two, aside from that.
That Dow got near an all-time high, didn't it, yesterday?
Yeah.
On the back of that news.
Yeah, so obviously stocks pushing higher on the optimism surrounding the vaccines, and that's had people dashing to the stocks that have been most beaten up by the by COVID-19 over the last few months. So obviously that's helped indices pretty much across the board.
Excellent. I just wondered if who's the new company that have found a vaccine? Is it
Moderna?
Moderna. Yeah. So I wonder if their CEO sold most of his stock on the announcement as well. Just wondering. I know the Pfizer CEO sold millions, $5.6 million worth of stock.
He got rid of 80%, didn't he?
80%. Moderna's CEO.
What's going on with your dog, Steve?
It's a riot.
No, they're just pissed off as well about the Pfizer chief, just thinking thinking naughty.
Yeah, they were heckling, weren't they?
Yeah, let's say we got a 90% success rate and I'll sell all my shares. Yeah?
Yeah.
Nothing
it's
smells
a little bit
about that.
fishy, isn't it?
I'll tell you what, people get away with it sometimes.
Yeah.
Let's call them out. Let's get them. Yeah, Moderna, what's he doing? 95% success rate. Let's see what he done.
He sold at 80%.
Yeah, of course he has. Yeah, it's just a sort of like, oh yeah. Anyway, that's my little rant over. But yeah,
it's not a good look, is it?
It's not. It's absolutely appalling.
Well, what's going on with the stocks then, Steve? You got some charts to show? Ian, you need to share your screen.
Oh, he's shared, isn't it?
You are. Ian's not.
Oh,
just
sorry.
Preparing Ian.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
Throw it out for a minute, won't it?
Yeah.
You've got to do yours again, Steve, now.
There we go.
There you go.
Okay. Ian said let's get that 29 above 30,000. Didn't stay there for very long though. It'll be a psychological level. But it's sort of this morning it's got off to a positive start again. Well, this morning it's negative, but it's had a little bit of a pip up in the last hour or so. On the Nasdaq chart, I'm still sort of like this hasn't sort of had any movement at all. Obviously, this is more the technology sector. Last week's Doji is a bit of a concern, so I'm still sort of sitting on the fence with that as usual. The boring Steve O'Hare selling stocks. Looking at FTSE, that sort of has still a little bit of a way to go before it tests the decent resistance that we've got above. Again, the same with DAX. Decent resistance comes in just below the 13,500 level. We're trading at 13,125 at the moment, so we sold off just now. Yesterday, my gun to the head trade was gold, and obviously when you get sort of like news like 95% success rate for another vaccine, gold is going to take a hit on the sort of safe haven status sort of disappearing. So looking at the short-term chart, we can see the lines I had drawn in yesterday. There was this bullish channel or potential channel because it had 2 points. We were looking for a third point, and funny enough, it's hit that third point to the T and reacted higher from it. So although I got stopped out on gold yesterday, I feel a little bit more positive towards it because of the reaction there. That's a decent supportive trend line now. So we can extend that further, and I'll be bullish of gold until this trend line breaks. So, you know, if we get a clear break of 1865, then the potential is for a continued move to the downside. But as long as we stay above that, I'm looking for maybe a retest of the 1965 levels before we look for the 2000 psychological level again. That's pretty much it from me.
Okay, mate.
Lovely.
Short and sweet.
Ian, what's going on with the FX stuff?
Same old story, really. As we sort of said at the beginning of this week, which was only, when was the beginning of this week?
Yesterday.
Fucking hell. That stocks move higher, dollar has a tendency to move lower. It didn't really move that far yesterday. We saw a gap close, and then we've seen this sell off this morning. One thing that I did find interesting, I don't normally look at stocks, was this. Was it on the down? So this was a formation that we put in before, which is a butterfly formation. So it's 78.6% pullback, and then 127 and 161.8%, and we sort of spiked above there, and then looked like we were going to come lower. Then of course that's been attacked again. But if you go to this time frame here, this is a nice confluence area to the upside now. So 307.60, 306.50. So this sort of zone here, it's not a symmetrical pattern, even though obviously these extension levels are lining up quite well. It's not a regular extension pattern, put it that way, because if this was to make a butterfly formation, then that 224 would have to be at the 168. Not the 261.8%, but it is a confluence area, and I think it's well worth watching that area for potential turnaround in stock indices. With that in mind, I think the dollar keeps going lower, and with it euro dollar higher, etc., and the yen crosses look quite buoyant at the moment. So I'm looking at this sort of time frame on the dollar index. I haven't got anything in the way of support until down here, which is around about 91.60, which should mean, I don't know why I'm on that chart, still a decent rally to the upside in euro dollar, and I've got two patterns on here because they're both valid at the moment. 119.65 and then all the way up here to 120.51, which if we get up there will break this previous swing high, but it will target this fib here, which is a 161.8% extension of this level. So you can't write off this pattern yet, and I think what might happen is we might just break to a new high, take out stops that are above this swing high, and then turn around and come lower. But I think the main thing to focus on really in the days and potentially weeks ahead is just that dollar index and where the dollar index is going, because if we look at the basket currencies, like I was saying yesterday, this is all being driven by Swiss, yen and dollar, and sterling and euro, and even to a certain extent Aussie dollar, New Zealand dollar really aren't going anywhere at the moment. Cable, it's just I mean the big picture is still quite bullish. I think we've got to break some sort of decent resistance levels to get a decent push to the upside. We've got a swing high here, 132.41. See, this was another sim that worked, but it only pulled back temporarily. So if we break this previous swing high here at 132.40, then I think there's nothing really in the way to keep this from rallying up to around 144.06. I'm trying to get reversal patterns on dollar Swiss, but I can't find any. I think this is basically where we could be heading, and that's strongly risk on, because obviously that's selling dollars and that's buying Swiss francs, and that's a confluence area all the way down here at 88.51. Dollar yen is difficult because obviously as far as risk on, risk off products, you've got two currencies that are heading in the same direction basically, which is both to the downside, so it depends which ones are going to be the strongest. Got a decent support level at 103.71, but even if we bounce off there, I think it's only going to be temporary, and then we'll move down to these new swing lows. Over the medium term, it looks very bearish for dollar yen, and I think once these stocks turn and we get a decent sell-off in stock indices, I think we're going to move all the way down here over the medium term, which is near the swing lows from back in 2011. Dollar CAD, again, it's pretty mixed, but it's just taking that bearish dollar bias. There's different support levels here. We've got 130.20, 129.80, and any bounces I think are going to be sold into.
Okay,
that's me.
Fantastic. Cool. Cheers, Ian. Okay, let's go on to the gun to the head stuff from yesterday. 3 trades, as always. We had a short on sterling yen, we had a long on gold, and we had a long on euro yen. Only one winner yesterday, which was Ian, coming in with 0.33R on the day. Steve and I were stopped out on a bit of a volatility spike after the vaccine update. So lost a bit of money yesterday, but that's par for the course, unfortunately. So still in this sort of choppy pullback in our overall P&L progression. So hopefully we can put a nice uptick on that tomorrow. So who's got an idea ready for us to go? Anybody?
Ready.
Yeah, go on, Lee.
I'm just going to go for this dollar index. I don't know how far it's going to get today, but it's broken through this 161.8% fib overnight. It got a nice bearish outside candle on the 1 hour chart, so I don't think it's going to get above there. In fact, I'll move it even a bit lower. So I'm going to sell the dollar index at 92.39, targeting 91.46 with a stop at 92.55.
Fantastic, thank you. Steve, you got one ready?
I'm going to go for gold again. I'm still sort of convinced by this. Going to have another go today. Getting long here, 18.92. The stop on the trade, I'm going to put at 18.82. I'm going to target a move to 19.22. 3-to-1 risk reward.
Lovely.
Super.
Good luck.
So we're all looking for a bit of dollar weakness, it would appear then. I'm going to have a look at silver. So we've got 2 commodity positions there, and obviously the short on dollar index. I'm buying silver because we've got this short-term uptrend which has been in place since the end of October. We've seen a decent bit of buying interest on every return to this uptrend line. If we look at what's happened over the last hour, which is really the candle that's interested me, we're posting a nice bullish outside candle there on the hourly chart. So I'm expecting a break of this mini consolidation and then potentially a move back up to the swing highs up here at around about 26. So buying now at 24.71. Stop loss at 24.41 and a target of 26. So that's just under 4.5R, 4.3R if that plays out from here. So we're all in the same direction. Hopefully we're celebrating 3 wins come tomorrow morning or 9 o'clock tonight when the ideas expire. Okay, so data-wise today, is there much on the calendar? I don't think there's a huge amount from what I've seen. US retail sales at 1:30 is the only high impact data that's due out during the European trading hours. After that, we have Japan trade balance, which is due out at 10 minutes to midnight UK time. Anything else? So we've got
there's a lot of
central bank
speakers again
speakers.
today.
Yeah, Bank of England Governor Bailey, Fed Chair Powell. Both should provide some areas of interest.
And Lagarde is out at 5 o'clock as well.
Well, she spoke yesterday as well, didn't she? But there wasn't much that come from that, by the sounds of things. Just on oil, oil prices gained ground yesterday. There's rumours that there'll be a 3 to 6 month delay in the OPEC output hikes. So there is an OPEC meeting taking place today. So keep an eye on oil prices if you have any positions linked to that today. I think that's pretty much it.
Nice one.
Cool. Wrap it up nice and quickly today. Steve, I know you got a call, but we'll be back tomorrow morning. Good luck with your trades, everybody.
Yeah,
Lovely.
cheers, guys. Good luck.
Bye-bye.